This is how to keep your tax lab technician happy. My name is Paul Vázquez with Tax Lab, and you need to become an ethical millionaire. So if you've signed up with our bookkeeping service, maybe you're a high net worth individual and you want someone else to take the heavy lifting for you, or the tedium of tracking your income and expenses personally. Maybe you own a business and you don't have time to play bookkeeper every night before you eat dinner or before you go to bed. However it used to be, you don't have the time or the patience to learn how to become a good bookkeeper. You've signed up for our service. You're assigned a tax lab technician. That's the specialist. Normally, they all have accounting degrees, and they're going to be doing that work for you, but they don't always have access to the receipts, the statements, and everything else. Now, what most likely is going to happen if you haven't given your tax lab technician a view-only account with your bank's credit cards and everything else, where they can go in and download statements, then they're going to need you to do that. We do account reconciliation, where after we do the initial categorizations, making sure everything's done right, we go back and verify those transactions against the bank records. If you haven't given us the access, or that team member the access to do so, they're not going to be able to get that data from you, and they're going to ask, what if you were proactive? What if you were proactive either by making sure they could have their own login? We want our own login. We don't need any additional access or power. We don't need any extra power beyond what is necessary. So view only access. If you don't do that, haven't done that, or maybe can't do that because the institution doesn't allow additional user accounts for your account with them, then every month just get in the habit of downloading statements and sending them off. If you do that at the beginning of every month, usually these records are available. Once a new month start, you can just send those off. If you are constantly getting requests from your technician for receipts, maybe be a bit proactive. Know that if you buy something and if they need to be tracking for your business, they're going to definitely need those receipts, or they're going to ask for it. Why? Because your tax lab technician is there to do the tedious work, and they want to make sure that they exhaust every possibility for you to have the deductions you're after. And that comes with the highest levels of proof, or a receipt, statements. They want to help you and give you every opportunity to get those tax savings, or to prove those costs or that income in whatever manner is necessary. So they're trying to help you. They're trying to do the work that's maybe a little bit too tedious for you to do, and maybe sometimes you don't know the highest standard of care in doing that, and that's what they're there for. So instead of waiting for them to ask you, go ahead and try to be proactive. Try to estimate ahead of time. If you're one of our clients that's using QuickBooks, oftentimes a step above the very basic, you're going to have the ability to upload receipts on your phone. Take a picture of the receipt. Have the vendor send it to you by email and then forward it on. So these things might become automated with AI, but there has to be a foundational task that is managed in a consistent way. And so if you first get good at managing that task in a consistent way, it might be that in the future AI can replicate that for you. But AI has a hard time replicating processes, right, that have never been created. And even with the AI, you still have to kind of watch over them to make sure they do it right. So that may come in the future, but they need something to duplicate. It needs a process, and you need to understand your process there. Our tax lab technicians can do a lot of work for you, but if we don't have access to the information, we can't do anything about it. And so they're trying to help you. They want to help you. They want to give you results and reports as fast and as quickly as possible. But that becomes difficult if they don't have the foundational documentation that they're supposed to be asking for to get that from you. Once again, it's not us that's requiring that. It's that we know that if you are required to give it, we want to make it as easy as possible to give the petitioning organization just the information they're petitioning. We don't want to have to open up your records any more than is required by that particular petition. And so we want to put receipts with transactions, put any notes necessary with those transactions, get it all nice and neat. So that way, if somebody's asking, hey, can you show us these transactions? You're not like, well, it's in here somewhere, and you reveal more than is necessary. So we're not trying to hide anything, but we want to be precise so that way we don't go beyond what is necessary to fulfill the requirements of either the insurance company, the state actor, or a bank, whomever you need to divulge that information to. We want to make sure we present that information clear, concise, and as accurately as possible. And we want to help you acquire that ability, because then when you want to understand what's going on in your life financially, you've got someone helping you track those things and understand. It's going to be very difficult for you to become an ethical millionaire unless you can track where you are and where the money's going, when the money's coming in, and everything else. You need to be able to understand what's going on. So if there comes an opportunity to make a change in your life, you can better understand where those changes can take place, how much those changes are going to affect your life. You need to understand your financial life, just like you want to understand your physical life, your health, and do a checkup with a doctor on occasion. You also, if you're serious about it, you want to be able to check those records financially whenever possible. Anyways, if you're not using our service yet, if you don't have a assigned tax lab technician, go to lab.tax, click on advisory services, and even if you just want bookkeeping, if you just want a tax prep, we want to understand who you are so we can apply the best procedures, the best advice, what's the right fit for you. And that comes through context. It comes through knowledge. A lot of what's hard to get the AIs to do for you, we need to fill in those gaps. We're here to help. Anyways, I wish you guys all the success.